When you answer the phone and you hear the words, "I'm calling about charges on my account," or "Can you go over this invoice with me?" I don't know about you, but for some of us, this is dreadful and it can be a trigger, and it makes it tempting to just push this off to an office manager or take a message, hoping someone else will deal with it and run for the woods. But avoiding these calls is not the answer, and I understand how you feel. So I want to help you with a few easy things you can do to face these calls with confidence. I want you to keep in mind this doesn't necessarily mean this client is angry. They might sound a bit spicy, but they're trying to figure out if they should be angry. You know what it feels like if you go to a place of business and they've worked with you with something and they've charged you incorrectly, and you get home and you see this and you're annoyed. You have to pick up the phone and you have to call. Ugh. And then you go into this conversation expecting that they're not going to help you or assuming that they're going to shut you down. So that's the mindset of your client. But you're not going to shut them down. You're going to try to listen to what they have to say and do your best to help. Now, when a caller says they want to talk about a charge on their invoice, I want you to think of this as an opportunity to investigate. And hopefully, you're going to solve a problem and prevent or de escalate a situation from occurring. The first thing I want you to do is get the pet's name and then say it during the conversation. For example, let me pull up Pete's account so we can take a look at this invoice together. That sentence right there is already reassuring because you're keeping it about Pete. You're keeping it about the patient, and you're letting them know that you are going to work with them to figure this out. That's all they want. Then I want you to take notes and do the investigation. Listen, actively listen to your pet owner, and then put your reflective listening skills to work. For example, it sounds like you didn't bring Pete's fecal sample in the day you were here, but we do have that charge on his invoice for that fecal test. I agree that something doesn't seem right here. So what I'm going to do is check his patient records to help us figure out what happened, because I know sometimes we are able to get a sample during the exam, but regardless, let's figure this out for you. You've done a great job at maintaining this client's trust and reassuring them that you are going to help. Next, you're going to place them on hold and take a breath. We're going to check Pete's records. And there's going to be a couple ways this can go. Either we did the test or we didn't. Now, first, let's say we did collect that fecal sample during the exam and we did, in fact, run a fecal test. You're thinking now, great, I have to get back on the line and I have to say this charge was correct and that we did run the test, and this client's going to be angry. So when you approach the client with this mindset, that is exactly what's going to happen. They are going to get angry and you're going to get a spicy reaction. So let's turn this into a positive and celebrate. Thank you for your patience. The good news is that we were able to collect that sample while you were here. Now, at this point, you can take a message for the medical team to give this client a call with the results or whatever your practice protocol is for this situation. But let's rewind and let's pretend that we didn't run the test and this charge is incorrect. And now you have to get back on the line and you have to tell them this. It's okay. Thank you for your patience. I'm so glad you followed up on this because Pete is due for that fecal test, and it looks like we did make an error when we created your invoice. So we have a couple of options for you. So now they feel like they have a little control in the situation. You can reinforce the importance of the intestinal parasite screening and offer to have them drop that sample off so that you can run that test to ensure Pete is okay. And reassure them that you are making a note in their records so that the medical team is expecting them and this test has already been paid for. But make sure you follow through with that. Now, stay tuned for another Snoot Snippet because we all know there's going to be times when this isn't good enough. And the good news is there are things we can do to resolve this. So I'll be in touch.